past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, can I stay here for the night? I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. No standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free.
Hello, good evening everybody, and welcome to the second official Elite FPL live stream. I was trying to do one this morning, but there was all these tech issues, blah 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 blah, and I was going to be assuming I was going to be streaming with Jason tonight. Unfortunately, he's having to deal with a family emergency, so he can't join us tonight, but you're going to have to put up with me for as long as someone can be bothered to come on the Discord. And you may be wondering what the Discord is. Essentially, it's where we, as the Elite FPL community, get together and chat absolute nonsense by spamming the general. That's why you should become a member. So you'd have to put up with the spam. No, but in all seriousness, if you want to come live on air with me and just chat about your first team draft, by all means. I put a poll up in the chat asking a very, very simple question. I keep pressing the wrong button there. A simple question in the chat, simply as it goes: how happy are you with your first draft? And as it stands right now, as a percentage, that is 40 to 60% you're happy with, is 22%, 56% there, 70 to 80% happy, 90% plus 26%. That's been about 2 votes, so by all means, get in this year. Get your votes in. But yeah, obviously tonight is just a chill stream. I just want to chat absolute nonsense. I'm got something I want to talk about just quickly, which is a bit of a subject matter in the FPL community. I hate that. I actually cannot stand it, because the FPL community, because there are so many, shall we say, individuals with such a severe superiority complex that actually it doesn't feel like a community at all. That's why I'm glad that we're part of the elite FPL community. But let's just quickly say hello, like you should do, on the chat. See who's joined us here, just to chat absolute nonsense. Rad, Kevin Kelly, Phil Stones, Tiago, FPL, Matty win a lot. Max Roberts, are you going to be coming on tonight, Max? In fact, I was thinking of you literally yesterday, Max, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm gay. Simply because I was at someone's house and all I could hear was, Max, the daddy's dealing with the shopping at the moment, Max. And I just kept doing an impression of you. Hello? Hello, Steve. I'll be honest with you. Hello, John. John's saying he's working out here, working out to an elite FPL stream. Just put on some deathcore. You don't want to listen to this nonsense for the next God knows how many minutes. Kazali's here. Harry Dawson, I hear your name probably mentioned on every single FPL stream I'm ever tuning into, which is essentially none. Matthew Zaishi, good afternoon. Hello, Nuclear Atoms. Nuclear Atoms with his... I don't know if anybody's actually seen this. I'm going to grab it. Like I say, tonight is just going to be a mess about. I don't care what. I don't know if no one's seen this. I'm going to put it up on the screen. But this... I've got it printed up as a... It's like David Brent at the moment with his checkbook. So I'm going to deliberately put this on big camera here. And that's here. Move that out of the way. That's part of it. Look at that. Nuclear Atoms drew that, sent it to me, and I basically got it printed out. It's absolutely magnificent. And Tyler's pictures, which are up there behind my fat head. Got the Snakes and Ladders game. The original poster. What's this got to do with FPL? This will be 1-0, 0-0. Either way, 1-1. Does my bum look big in this? And that's the man saying it for once. So what are you going to get from me tonight? Office quotes. Talking of which, I'll be doing an Office podcast in extras. Bet you can't wait for that. Yeah, as ever, fantastic piece of artwork from Nuclear Atoms there. But that's that. Oh God, if you want serious chat, FPL Black Box is on. God, I just honestly, I find some people take fantasy football beyond serious sometimes. Like, this is why I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was speaking with somebody. Again, I have no idea who it was. And I was saying to them that I think people just take on the online world too seriously. Gotta be really, really serious with the online world. You know it's not real. And as I keep discussing on the Total Stevo podcast, if I vanished right now, if I just disappeared like this, if I just vanished like that, and it all went blank, people are then gone. People just move on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. People forget that the online world is quite literally taken on mind on its own, and people take it too seriously. And I think it's why, personally, I think people are getting sick to death of a lot of the content creators that are coming out saying, essentially, if you pay for my stuff, you'll get this reveal, that reveal, you'll get this information. And it's very, very dark. I mean, I almost equate it, and I'll be doing this on the Total Stevo podcast, to be honest with you, I almost equate it to OnlyFans. It's unfortunately, individuals that are in a position where they can monetize themselves. So if it's, let's just get real here, if it's a girl who's got a pair of big boobs, who's really attractive, and men, pathetic men, are willing to pay to, well, talk to them dirty, send them explicit material. I'm so lonely that I need company, I'll spend $600 an hour on you. You know, it's the same with FPL content. It's, I can't be bothered to play this game, so I will just pay someone to just do my team for me. How sad do you have to be? Like, it just ruins any experience about anything. You know, and it's like I say, especially in the OnlyFans world, where the girl's argument is, well, you know, they're getting a personal connection. Yeah, but you don't care about that person, because once that person's gone, it's not like you're going to go out your way and make sure that, oh my God, I must make sure I speak to that Simon, because I haven't spoke to him for about 3 weeks. He used to pay me $600 an hour once a week. No, it just moves on to the next poor bastard. It's the same with these FPL content creators that charge X amount of money for getting team reveals and stuff. Who pays for this? Like, paying for people's Patreons or whatever because you actually genuinely support the show. Like, I've actually, this season, I'm paying for the FPL Juice. I'm paying for their membership. It's only $2.99. And I'm paying for the Patreon on Planet FPL. I'm doing the lowest tier because at the end of the day, I can't afford anything more than a low sum of money. And like with anything in life, we can only afford what we're willing to pay, basically. But I want to support people that I genuinely have a passion for their product. And with Planet FPL, they produce, in my opinion, a product which is worthy of anybody going out the way to listen to. And with the FPL Juice Boys, you know, their membership is essentially an extraordinary way in which you could win some serious prizes if you're any good at FPL. So basically, I'm going to be paying them 27 quid to win nothing. The point being, though, is that their show is worthy of me paying £3 a month. £3. Anyway, what's this got to do with FPL? Fuck all. Oh yeah, I haven't even discussed my team, have I? That's up on screen. My team. Yeah, I made one change since we last did a stream, since last week. And as I said on the other day at Heathrow Airport, Sky Fantasy Football has kind of made me re-look at FPL and kind of looking at it taking it from a different angle. And because Sky FPL kind of almost forces you into planning properly, it's kind of made me look at FPL and gone, Steve-O, you don't need to be taking any punts, risks, unnecessary, what you would call it, unnecessary risks. Jesus Christ. Unnecessary risks for what? The only players in that team right now that I'm just a bit 50-50 with are Calvert-Lewin, but he's probably going to be gone because FPL Maestro alerted me to the fact that he's injured. You couldn't make it up, could you? Who's the other player? Flecken of Brentford. But I'm pretty confident that Flecken will be in goal. And Maddison and Calvert-Lewin are easily my, quote, differentials going into game week 1. And I think that these particular individuals, well, specifically Maddison, I think is worth that punt, if you can even call it that. He's an England international. He's now playing with the England #1 striker. We saw what he did at Leicester for the past few seasons. We know he's a top quality player, and we all would like to think that Maddison is going to be in and behind Kane and providing him, Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison with the opportunities to score goals. He's a creative player at the end of the day. So I think that from my personal standpoint, Maddison is worth certainly going into the opening fixtures where, I mean, ironically, they kick off with Brentford away. But those opening fixtures, I mean, again, Man United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United, Arsenal, Liverpool. I mean, the only options that I've looked at really are just pretty much swapping Maddison for Matoma. That's it. That's all I've looked at. I've got 1.5 in the bank, and that money is to be going on players who are going to be improving on form across the first few fixtures. So obviously the likes of Chelsea I'll be looking at as a very simple example. I mean, ironically, looking at Maddison, because from a safety perspective, I think bringing in Matoma, certainly for Brighton's opening fixtures, and it would mean, because if I'm going to get rid of Calvert-Lewin, it would mean bringing in Brighton's Ferguson as well. But let's just put Matoma in there to start with. And I mean, I'll certainly be looking at also Pascal Gross's minutes during pre-season, where he's going to be playing and stuff, because he could be a player to be looking at as well. Same price. But because of that 6.5, it means I've then got 2.5 in the bank, which of course in turn means that with the likes of Ferguson / Calvert-Lewin or Foden, Buemo, Rashford, etc., it can mean that I could do simple upgrades, or even you would classify potentially as downgrades to the likes of Sterling, who are only 7 million, Havertz 7.5, because he's another one that we could all be potentially looking at. And Martinelli's another one. There's so many gems within this game that I think that certainly in the opening couple of game weeks, playing it relatively safe will mean that, depending on how quick we want to jump on these particular individuals, is down to us. And certainly from my personal standpoint, take Chelsea as the prime example. If they look really attacking in the opening game against Liverpool, and Pochettino set them up so that they're really going for it, and Sterling looks like one of the key men, it is literally just, and it is going to be pretty much a case for me, right then, to hell with this, I'm getting in Sterling now. He's just scored against Liverpool. He's looking absolute on fire. He looked like he could have got 2 or 3 goals. He could have set up a few. Yes, they drew 1-1 with Liverpool, but they could have battered them. It could have ended 3-1, 4-1 to Chelsea. They just didn't put away their chances. And then they've got West Ham away, and then they're on to the promoted teams. Luton. Then it's, I can't even see. Oh, Nottingham Forest, that's right. And then I know they've got another easy fixture. Bournemouth. My plan this season is to be really quite aggressive and almost play like a casual would, because the way casuals play, let's get real here, it is quite literally, oh, he scored, did he? Bring him in. Just bring him in. I really want to attack that to get onto the price rises, etc., etc. Another thought process for me as well is going into this season, potentially for game week 1, captaining Rashford. I saw Andy Martin had mentioned it on Twitter earlier, but certainly Rashford's opening game against a Wolves team who are completely depleted. Man United are at home. We know what Man United can do at home. We know what Rashford can do at home. It's pretty much double-digit hauls, a minimum of 10 points every single home game for Rashford. There's going to be new life to United as well. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute Mason Mount's going to make much more of a difference, but certainly I think next season there's going to be a bit more oomph to United, and I think that with Wolves being probable relegation candidates this season, I think that could be like a a 3 or 4-0 to Man United. Whereas Man City away at Burnley, yeah, Haaland can score. Man City will probably win. I would put an 85-90% chance on them beating us. But do I really see Haaland scoring 2 or more goals against us? No, I don't. Whereas can I see Rashford scoring 2 or more goals against Wolves, or more specifically getting 2 attacking returns, so a goal and assist? Yeah, I do, and it's genuinely tempting to captain Rashford on the opening game. There's not too much to lose, really. But hey, like I say, it's just like the lottery. Back to the comments, even though I'm about 4 hours behind now. Kevin Kelly saying, did you say there's no 3 p.m. Saturday streams this year? Right, so based on what Jason said the other day, he's going to try and do 3 p.m. kickoffs. For me, it's impossible for me to do 3 p.m. kickoffs for the simple fact that I've got a new job and I am going to be working Saturdays, which means, though, that from my personal point of view, that there will be a stream on Saturday, but it'll be Saturday evening, and it will mean that I will be probably doing a reaction stream to what happened that day. So I used to do it before, like many years ago. I would know what the results are, but I wanted to kind of like air my thoughts on a mobile phone and just chat absolute nonsense while scrolling through the PlayStation 4 web browser, which was very, very difficult. This is before I had a laptop, before anything. It was very, very difficult. So I will be doing that this season. Again, I'm pretty certain Jason will try and do the 3 p.m. kickoffs. But as it stands right now, my life right this second is completely all over the place. So today I found out that I'll be starting my new job on Tuesday next week, which means that I've got to hand in my notice tomorrow for my delivery job. If people listening to the Total Steeler podcast, which is basically nobody, but if you do, you'll be hearing my stories regarding the delivery job that I do. It's not the job that was sold to me. It's a completely different animal compared to shop floor. The training involved has been an absolute disgrace. So, yeah, I'm kind of, when I heard here's the irony, I was actually on the phone to Jason this morning and I saw that there was another call coming in, and I just said to Jace, sorry, I've got to go, there's an important call coming through and it's from my new boss, and they basically told me about everything regarding the new job that will be starting next week, Tuesday. So yeah, everything in my life at the moment is completely going round in circles, and I just haven't had a break. And it's really, really, anybody that's been in this position where you're all over the place, I need that time off. I haven't had a holiday for about, okay, I'm sure there'll be someone listening going, I haven't had a holiday full stop, but I haven't had a holiday for about 4 months. I've just been work. So I haven't had a single break, and I was hoping to get a break in during, I was hoping to get a break in during this changeover to this new job in the NHS, but unfortunately that ain't going to be the case. So I've already kind of explained to them, look, I've had holiday booked since April time, and it was all coinciding with the start of this new season. But now I'm having to do a new job, and they've already told me that it's going to be unlikely you're going to be able to get a holiday during that time. So yeah, it's bit frustrating, but you know, we'll just play it by ear. Harry Dawson saying, when are you going to let us know about the YouTube chat league when I open it up? So I'll be opening it up probably in a week's time. I've got all the names written down. Everybody that's involved is going to be named. I'm going to do it on I don't know if I'll do it on a stream or a video. I don't know. But I'll just be basically bringing out the sheet of paper and reading off everybody's name. Essentially, it's just whoever was involved in the YouTube chat league last year is going to be in it. More specifically, the ones that actually participated in the chat. And then whoever wasn't really part of the community, the YouTube chat community, I have removed. And then I think I've added... Basically, I've removed about, let's just say for argument's sake, 10 people, and I've added a further 20. So there's about 20 new people that are going to be part of this. But even then, ironically, some of those people probably, I know for fact, I haven't even seen them during any of the things this year, but I'm not holding that against them whatsoever. But there are definitely some names I haven't seen at all, so the likelihood of them seeing the message is quite unlikely. Even Podner. Nico, greetings from Amsterdam. I don't recognise the name, and that reminds me, if you are new around here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the fucking subscribe button. Jesus Christ. Who was it again that I saw? Yeah, that was right. Jeff Marshall. Doing this really grim campaign to get subscribers. And I'm just like, dude, fucking breathe, mate. You've got enough. Anyway, it's a different story for a different day. Good, John. Under weaknesses, you put FPL. Nuclear, how do I hang up that poster? So the simple question is, I need to get proper hangers, basically. I'll need to go to like a DIY shop to find out. Blonde, just with a quick reminder there, even though this was said about half an hour ago. If you want to join in the waiting room, if you want to join in the show, if you want me to talk to you about your drafts, get involved in the Discord. She has linked it there. Afternoon, Connor. Mika saying this is far better than the black box. Harry Dawson, come on, which knobhead are we talking about? You know, I don't even know. Oh, you're talking about content creators. Max has now become a member for 11 months. Oh, that's the point, actually, talking of membership. So, for anybody who wants to take on Harry, try and beat Harry. Harry is the current Members League champion. If you want to take him on, you can become a member. With membership, you get, obviously, exclusivity into a members league, and I do lots and lots of videos throughout the whole season. I haven't done a members video yet because I don't need to do one yet, but certainly throughout the whole season there's going to be a lot of content that's done behind the scenes, and as I always keep saying, it's usually personal videos dedicated to you. If there's something of interest going on in the members chat, I will just literally just read it out and talk through it. Basically, videos can be anywhere between 45 minutes to, I think the longest one I've ever done is 2 hours. I think the longest ever one I did is 2 hours, I think. But certainly, if you want to become a member and just support the channel, you're more than welcome to, and take on Harry. Yeah, amazing. You pay. Hangouts is free. Kevin Kelly saying, I might play anti-FPL this year. I would have aced it last season. I don't think I've heard what is anti-FPL. I don't know what it's about. I'm saying I'm so bored of FPL that I moved on to other interests, and I'm now not really too eager for the season to start. Well, it's funny you bring that up, because this is what happens when you have another interest, and I'll be bringing on a caller in a minute. Matty, if you just wait around for 2 minutes, I'll be able to bring you live on air. So this is the thing, you see, when you have more than one hobby in your life, whatever it may be, the other hobbies that you have, you'll technically forget about, especially when it's on a break. So for instance, in this case, football. And the time just vanishes. Like I say, I've got plenty of hobbies, and I mean, this season specifically, especially the pre-season, I don't know why, I've just been more excited and more engaged doing Elite FPL at the moment. I don't know if it's because of the hours of the day that I'm able to do videos now. Is it because I don't have to wake up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning? There's many factors in it. And as I keep saying regarding the Total Steam, the podcast, whether it comes to Elite FPL, people take online too seriously, and everybody has an opinion. And when you get comments like, basically, stop doing podcasts, stop releasing videos, etc., my argument has always been, and we're going back all the way back to the MySpace days when I was a teenager. So back in 2004, 2005, I've always said this: if you don't like it, stop interacting with me, stop watching, whatever it may be. I've never understood why the online world, everybody's trying to appease everybody. And I think that it's something funny enough, it's something what Cap King Gaming actually said, which is, don't feel pressured into having to feel like you have to do content. Do it because you want to do content. And unfortunately, I do see a lot of, again, this isn't just fantasy football, this is just content in general. I find that people that do YouTube content, especially, you can just see that they're being forced into. I'll give you an example, right? So I watch this heavy metal vlogger, and he literally just vlogs everything he does regarding going to gigs, more specifically metal festivals, and he is filming virtually everything. And obviously he's got to edit it down, and you can tell on his girlfriend's face. You can just see in her faces, do you have to be doing this? Can we not just enjoy this moment? Do you have to be filming this? And it's almost, you can tell it's got to this guy's head where it's, oh, I'm really popular. I'm well known within the metal community. Not really. You've got a tiny amount of people that follow you on Instagram. I think it's like 9,000 followers on Instagram. Your YouTube vlogs get, less than 1,000 views? Despite the fact that you've got 10,000 subscribers, you're not really getting people watching your stuff. When your videos premiere, you get about 10 people watching. By the way, I'm not having a go at this person, I'm just making the point that it just seems to be content for the sake of making content. And it's content which is, even though I enjoy watching it, but you can just see that he seems to be doing it because he feels he has to do it rather than because he wants to do it. The point I'm trying to get at is that the reason why I do these videos is because I just want to do it. Because I know there are people in my situation that this is why I've entitled the stream Chillstream and bored out of my mind. Because there are people out there that are so fucking bored at the moment that they would rather hear some idiot like me while they're doing something like John, for example, training or whatever, and because they just want to listen to some idiot speaking absolute nonsense for however long. And I feel the same when, for instance, yesterday with the FPL casuals, when Llama's on and Veteran's on, Sean, and when they were live, it's just, you're listening in and I'm just enjoying it for what it is. And I was just gutted when they went off air. I was just like, ugh. I was listening to that. And it's weird because I've only just come to a realisation over the past, 2 or 3 months, that live is quite a powerful engagement tool, in the sense of, if you take me as just a very simple example of, if I'm subscribed to something and something, in fact, it literally happened this morning. So, for instance, this it's called the London Dash Cam. He's a taxi driver. Well, he's not directly a taxi driver, but he's just somebody that taxis passengers to and from airports. But he's not actually a taxi driver. He's like not even an Uber. I don't know what you call it. A private hire vehicle. And he did a live stream this morning, and he was streaming from Sutton to Folkestone. Went on for about, I think it was like an hour and a half, something like that. Let me just quickly check how long this stream went on for. Right, so it went on for an hour and 46 minutes. That's how long the journey went on for. And him and, I'm assuming, his wife or a friend, was essentially just reading out the comments, and he was just driving along, and I was just engaged with it all. I was just enjoying it while it was on in the background, while ironically I was trying to work out how to live stream on here. But am I going to go back to watch it? Nope. Why would I? Because it's a really weird psychology that we as the individual will watch it live, but when it comes to watching back on the replay because I've missed X, Y and Z, I don't bother. That's just me. I know there are many people that will go back to watch a live stream again, but the short form videos that we do, certainly people know what they're getting. It's 20 minutes of whatever's being discussed over that period of time, whereas a live stream, it's just engagement with whoever's watching it and wants to chat live on air. Hello Harbour Boy, good morning pal. On that note, I'm going to deliberately bring on Matty Wins a Lot in 6 seconds. Hopefully this will all go to plan. I'm hoping Matty has, which he hasn't. Matty, if you could actually put your team into the team screenshots, I'll be very grateful, because I see Max is also there waiting around waiting to come live on air. I talk like this. That's what I don't miss from work. Christ, the women from work. What are you talking about? Anybody live in London that know exactly what we're talking about here? What are you talking about? It goes right there, Steve-O. You're a pervert. You know that, don't you? Yeah. You're aware you're live on air, Steve-O? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I am. Seeing as Matty hasn't put his team... Matty, bring your team up on screen. We'll just bring on Max for 2 seconds. Hello, Max. Oh, wait a minute. I need to unmute Max as well. Make sure that it's all unmuted. Max, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, hopefully. Hold on a minute. If you speak again.
Yep.
Yes. You're coming through loud and clear. Can everybody else hear Max? They should do, because I can see it on my desktop. I can see it all coming through fine. I've got your team up on screen, Max, and before you continue, I'm just going to quickly address some brand new comments. Kick Your Ass has donated £2. Thank you. Don't be too hard on yourself. Thank you for that. You didn't have to donate £2. I was given a tip yesterday, Max.
All right.
And how much do you think that tip was? I'll give you a clue. It's what Kick Your Ass donated.
£1.99.
No, it was £2. But what was the problem with that
right.
What was the problem with that £2 though, Max?
You see about 38 pence of it?
No. The £1 was actually one of the old ones, so I couldn't even use it. So actually, I just got
right. Okay.
250p's. Literally, and I just thought they'll go on the bets next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, Max, your team's up on screen. We've got a 4-4-2 here. Talk to me. Is this changed since?
Yeah. So the last one. Do you want me to put the last one up?
No, don't worry. No. Just go through what you've changed.
So let me just remember. Oh God, I've made so many drafts. It's difficult.
Well, can I just for people listening on audio, which there may be someone that does a me and drives around, always walking around. You've got Edison, Estepinian, Trent, Gabriel, Shaw, Rashford, Buemo, Saka, Matoma, Gabriel Jesus, and Haaland. To me, that looks like the standard Twitter template, which is a good thing.
Yes and no. I'm a bit disappointed in myself, to be totally honest. But
why?
I don't like to go off templates, but this feels like the safest team as it stands.
What do you mean you don't like to go off template?
Because I like to play my own game, and I think you always stick to a template in some way, shape, or form. But like for me, I'm just a massive fan of Harry Kane, and I really want to get Harry Kane in. My issue is that how do I fit him into this team without destroying the core players that are there?
So why are you wanting Harry Kane in your team?
I just think he's just great. Like if you compare him versus Haaland last season, like the points difference just wasn't that big compared to the 1.5 million price difference. I like Spurs' fixtures. I think Maddison was a great pickup. And I think that's only going to add to Kane's goals, personally, if he stays around, of course. And again, you just look at Kane's numbers. He's fixture proof, do you know? So I would love Harry Kane in this team, but it just means that I have to sacrifice in other places where I don't know if I'm willing to do that.
The problem is you're in this dilemma where you're kind of wanting to go... Not wanting, but you're needing to go safe almost because you feel like these are the best players with the opening fixtures, etc., etc. But there's this one player, in this specific case, Harry Kane, who you're desperately wanting to bring in. This is a player in Kane who, since 2014, his goals have been 21, 25, 29, 29, 17, 18, 23, 17, 30. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's so I look at the amount of drafts and I don't see hardly anybody putting Kane in.
So for me,
to ignore those numbers is just crazy.
Gabriel Jesus, I just don't personally buy into it. I don't think he's going to get the amount of goals that. I think that Gabriel Jesus is that kind of player who, like with Man City, the goals are going to be shared, but the difference is that Man City have got a striker who everybody's feeding it to, whereas in Arsenal's case, it seems to be that the goals are shared across the likes of him, Martinelli, when it will be Havertz, Saka, Odegaard. And is there any way you can sacrifice Jesus and, dare I say, Trent Alexander-Arnold?
So, I don't know if you'd be surprised to hear this, but I've got 1.5 mil in the bank with this team.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. I've got 1.5 in the bank with my team. Yeah.
But like my bench is just dust. Do you know? It's like the cheapest options you can get. So like I've been messing around with like, do I maybe make a bench player a bit better, or do I, like I say, swap this team around to potentially get a Kane in there? I know a lot of people are hammering Edison, but I explained my thought process on this last week. Like I try and target the first 6 to 8 games. I think if you go any further than that, then you're kind of ruling out wildcard situations and transfers. when I look at those first 8 games, I can see 5 to 6 clean sheets in there. And for me to get a defender that's nailed on, I think he's worth the 5.5, especially for the people that are saying that would have Stones anywhere. So it's like, would I rather have Stones, who has like hardly any attacking threat, for 5.5, or would I rather have Edison, who should be guaranteed and probably gets 5 clean sheets, I would say, in the first 8 game weeks? I've seen a few people that have Stones and Ramsdale, and in my mind, that's exactly the same. Like, why would you not just have Edison and Gabriel? So yeah, like, it's an interesting one, and I don't see a lot of drafts that have Edison, which is fair enough, but I want to wait into that Man City defence that I feel like is secure.
So,
no, go on, sorry.
I was going to say, Marcus here is saying exactly what I've just said. If you want Kane in your team, just get rid of Trent and upgrade Jesus to Kane. What does that do? How much money have you got in the bank if you were to do that? Are you able to do that, and what money does that leave you?
Yeah, just bear with me 2 seconds. I'll mess around with it.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm just going to quickly say hello. Good evening, Mr. Reed. Colm has just come in. DJ has come in here. Dally Pool, good afternoon. Rad, good afternoon, pal. And just to make a quick point to members, so Ricky as an example. Ricky, he's saying, I would like to be added to the Members League. Right, so regarding the Members League, the way you're in it is, number 1, you have to be a member. Number 2, you have to be a member for the whole season. So it can't just be a case of, oh, I'm doing really, really well, let's become a member and I'm joining the Members League. No, you're in it from game week 1. And if after the first few game weeks you're not doing great and then you cancel your membership, you're removed from the Members Leagues. As simple as that. You have to be part of the members for the whole of the season. So what's that, 10 months of the season, you've got to be a member to qualify to be in with a chance of winning that specific league. Evening, no weak foot. Colm saying, if Belong moves to another Premier League team, getting Salah/Kane becomes a little easier for me. I don't know much about this Balogun, to be honest with you, and No Weak Foot is just saying he thinks he's off to Inter. Max, have you done the maths on that?
Yeah, so I've posted another screenshot of it, so you can obviously have a look with a Kane draft. I have 5 mil in the bank. Henry is just like a...
Forget Henry. There are plenty of fight.
You could put like whoever you want. I just did it quickly so I didn't keep you all waiting, basically.
Right.
So like I said, bear in mind, Henry, there's 5 million there in that slot.
How much is Gabriel? 5?
Gabriel's 5, yeah.
See, I'm a hypocrite because I just love Trent.
Yeah, so this is the problem with this draft, right? There's no Liverpool. Like, I hate the word coverage, but at the same time, like, I like to feel like I'm watching a team and then I'm kind of thinking, all right, I'm not totally scared because if Liverpool are playing, then at least I've got some interest in the game. And I understand what people are saying. They're going, yeah, go to Fleck, and I get that. But at the same time, I'm still sticking with I want a Man City defender when I look at those 8 fixtures.
I think... I mean, I asked the question in the poll, which is still running now, how much as a percentage are you happy with your team? I don't know if you participated in it, but it looks to me like about 2 of your players, maybe 3 at a push, you're not happy with them. But in fact, of this 11, who are you pretty much guaranteed to be in your game week 1 team no matter what?
This is going to cause controversy as well, but I do want Edison. I really want Edison in my game week 1 team. Estepinian, Gabriel, Shaw, Rashford, Saka, Haaland. That's kind of who is nailed for me as it stands.
Oh, so Mbeumo, Matoma, Kane. Okay, I know you've got Henry, but those three are the ones
Like
that
I say,
you're.
just pretend we don't see that. It's essentially a 5 million slot, so like whichever fits
Yeah.
best.
But Buemo, Matoma, and Kane are the three which, based on this, but certainly in the team above here, where you've put with Jesus in, it's still got Buemo and Matoma. You're not too convinced on them too.
The thing is, like Mbeumo and Matoma, so there's like a few options around that price. Like I'm a fan of Eze as well, but Eze is more of a thing for me. I think I would try and squeeze Eze into this team if Zaha moved, for instance, because I feel like Eze's attacking output plus penalties boosts him up the rankings. I don't know if it's ahead of Mbeumo and Matoma, but I think it's very close to being on par. If I wanted to change this draft to like have three up front, like Wissa is an option for me, which means I could potentially have like Wissa and Eze. So I've got the Brentford striker plus the Palace attacker that I would like. So yeah, it feels like when you put Kane in a draft, you have to go without Trent and Salah. But if you don't have Kane, you can fit in Trent plus a decent forward. That's kind of the conclusion I've come towards.
Thing as well is like Harbour Boys makes the point. The reason why premium players are premium is because they're guaranteed scoring goals and getting assists, etc. And for you to be having Kane in your team, a player who pretty much is guaranteed to score a minimum of 15 goals this year. Minimum. Looking at the two teams, I personally prefer the first one. I think it's just a bit more.
Do you feel like it's close though? Do you feel like there's not?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to start the season with this team here with Gabriel Jesus, it's about and again, there's nothing wrong with this. It's about as template as it gets. And then because you can, in theory, by game week 3, you could. I'm just going to look at Liverpool's fixtures here. Yeah, in game week 3, when Liverpool have got Newcastle, Aston Villa, you can in theory get rid of Trent and Jesus and bring in Kane for their good run of fixtures, where Tottenham from game week 3 have got Bournemouth, Burnley and Sheffield United. But again, it requires getting rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who could potentially be out of position, scoring for fun, whether it's assists or goals. Their fixtures change, ironically, in game week 4. Once they've got Aston Villa out the way, it's Wolves away, West Ham at home, Spurs away, who they love to play, Brighton, Everton, Nottingham Forest. Are you thinking of wildcarding early, like me?
It's difficult to say. I don't like to pre-plan too much, but I think sometimes a lot of the time you get forced into wildcarding, or because you've set up your team poorly, or a player has gone on a really good run. So let's say for Kane, for example, right? Let's say Kane just hits the ground running straight away, which I think it's fair to say that it's likely he could do. With a lot of our teams, that's a difficult move to make. So you end up wildcarding to get Kane in, but then you obviously change like 3 or 4 players as well, just because of the price that he's at. So for me, there's 2 trails of thought here. Kane means that I'm probably not wildcarding as early as I would do with the other team if Spurs hit the ground running. But the other team is way more flexible because I've got that money in the bank.
Yeah.
So like essentially I can upgrade. Let's say like I don't know, Matoma gets injured or he's not on form and Buemo's playing badly. Like I can go up to Martinelli, for example, like straight away, no hits needed. But do I want to do that? Like the first team I posted, I think, is the safer team, and it allows for more movement. However, if Kane starts incredibly well, and I think all of his fixtures are fine, like I would say Spurs' fixtures are much better than Liverpool's for the first 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
And we know Kane is fixture proof. He's going to be in your team like every single week on penalties, etc. Like, for me, it's very close. I think I'm leaning towards the first team I posted. However, the Kane pick is actually going to be a differential as well, which is nice. So there's a big part of me hoping he moves. He moves to Bayern Munich, and then I don't have to have that headache. But I think Kane is really, really being overlooked by a lot of people's teams.
One final question.
Go on.
How often are you looking at your team? Is it every day? Is it just once a week? What are you doing?
When the game first came out, I think I was just on it for like 2 or 3 days straight, just like messing, doing drafts. And then I think, for me anyway, I've got to a point now where I'm kind of like, I won't say exhausted with it, but I'm maybe a bit like, I just want the game to start now, because it still feels so far away. But I'm probably checking it, like, especially if I go and meet with people that like FPL and we'll discuss teams and help build stuff like that. So I would say like once a day maybe. And then if I watch Elite FPL or I've seen a video, etc., then I'll maybe mess with my team a bit more. It kind of just influences you to go on sort of messing around and stuff. But like if I've not seen any FPL content, then I probably don't look at it.
No.
Just kind of, I guess I kind of get influenced by that, and it promotes you to look at your team again.
I think for you, leave this team as it is for a week. That's what I did with my team. I didn't look at it for a week, and I came back and I went, oh, actually, I don't want this player. I'd rather have this player. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're literally looking at it every single day, your mind is just blinded by it. So I think maybe once a week, looking at it, and then as we approach the season, as we get closer and closer, I think at that point, you'll be able to make a decision. But to be honest, concluding with this, I think that team's fine, the 4-4-2, mate.
Yeah, like I'm happy with it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I would say I'm in the 70 to 80% bracket if we're doing the poll. And I like the flexibility of having the 1.5 million in the bank as well.
Yeah.
And like, I think this team is safe. Do you know? Like, I've got Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Estepinian, everyone's already got, a Man City at the back. So like every big team outside of Chelsea, who we don't really know how they're going to perform yet, I've got coverage for their defensive points. I've got the best player from Man United and Arsenal attack, and I've got the two people that most people are probably going to be jumping on at the mid-range price bracket, Mbeumo and Mitoma. Then I've got Jesus, who's playing up front for Arsenal, there's obviously debates around how good he is, but I still think he's a starter for Arsenal and he's going to get plenty of chances. And then obviously Haaland's a no-brainer. Having the 1.5 mil in the bank, I can pick Bayer probably from Burnley, who's going to be a starter, and then Ndombele potentially, or whoever is the Nakamba who might end up moving to Luton, who will be a starter for Luton, and then Archer as well. And then again, Areola on the bench, who looks like he might end up taking the starting place of Fabianski. And then let's say that Maddison's on fire. All right, I'll just move Mbeumo up to Maddison. Or again, one of those got injured. Or let's say I think Kovacic is a really good option at Man City, and I'll bring him in. And there's just a lot of flexibility with this one. It's unlike the Kane one. I'm going to have to make moves if I want to jump on certain players, where this gives me a little bit more of an option. So
absolutely. Max, see you next Monday.
Yeah, no problem. All right, Steve.
See you later, mate.
All right.
There's Max's team there, as you just seen. I think there's a lot of good feedback on that, to be honest with you. I think most people are happy with what he was saying there. I think everything's pretty fine. And now we've got Rad. Yeah, Matty, if you want to come live on air, we'll talk about your team. You just got to stick it in team screenshots and we'll just get you on. That's why I said to you, put the team in team screenshots. Rad. Is it Rad or R? I've just got R in front of me. Hello, R.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Perfect. Right.
Is it? What is your name? R?
Ricky.
Ricky.
Yeah,
Not Ricky as in the member Ricky.
yeah, that's the one.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you. Yeah, you asked the question about the Members League, and I just reiterate this to the audience. Basically, if you want to be part of the Members League, you can be, but to be part of it throughout the whole season, or with the chance of winning it, you've got to be a member throughout the whole season. But we've got a 3-4-3 here, Ricky, which is very different from, which is good, from the usual pack. So we've got Martinez in goal, Gabriel, Estepinian, Trent, Wemo.
Martinez. So Fabrizio Romano went, here we go with Onana for Manchester United. So I have him as a placeholder because Shaw.
Yep, you still there?
Hello?
Yep, we're back again. Say what you just said again. All I heard was placeholder.
Yeah, so Onana is joining Manchester United from Inter Milan.
Yes.
And with Luke Shaw coming in, playing at left centre-back, I don't really like him in that position in terms of attacking returns. So Martinez is purely a placeholder for Onana. In the Champions League final, he played really well, and I think he had something like 4 or 5 assists from in goal for Inter Milan. So I think he will sort of mop up a lot of bonus points for Manchester United if they do win.
So you think that this Onana is going to be a hell of a pick from a fantasy perspective then?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so, because in the Champions League final, he seemed to be very confident on the ball. He made some good saves against Sterling Haaland, the best striker. So I'm sort of banking on him outscoring Shaw. I think Shaw, when he plays in left back, is very good and gets attacking and is really good. But I don't think he'll be taking corners anymore. I think that'll be between Mount and Bruno. And I also think if there is an injury to Malacia, Shaw will fall in, or an injury, to Martinez or Varane, he'll fall into left centre back. And I think that just destroys any attacking potential he has.
But that's as it stands right now. The only information that we could probably go on is probably what you just said originally, which is he's probably going to be taking off set pieces. So you just think that Shaw this season isn't going to be that appealing as he was last year then?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've seen when
great, I'll remove him then.
when Varane and Martinez got injured, Shaw played left centre back and actually sort of out, like people were saying, it was a masterclass from Ten Hag. He was almost outperforming the other centre backs in the team, and even keeping Harry Maguire, the English captain, out. So I definitely think he's nailed on to play, but Shaw at centre back, I don't think is worth the 5.5. And you get the clean sheets from Onana as well. United had the most clean sheets last year, so a little bit of hopium they do it again.
So do you think then that me taking out Stones for sure, I should actually now reverse that decision?
I think so, because I was listening to other bits of FPL and people are saying that Pep Roulette can be a myth, that 8 of Man City's first 11 were the same, and it was only when Nathan Ake got injured that Pep started messing with the back 4. So I think with how well Stones done last year in that sort of like midfield role, I think Stones is a better option than Shaw at the minute. I think Man City are obviously a better team. So, and Stones, I think, has the same sort of potential as Shaw. So yeah, I'd go with Stones.
Davey Fisher is saying, I don't get the hype around Luke Shaw. He isn't going forward, and we have other players who are 0.5 cheaper. I just don't get it. I think I've now been sold on the whole making sure that I go with essentially John Stones instead of Luke Shaw. I mean, Man City's opening fixtures are incredible, and we saw what Stones could bring. But your team, barring Calvert-Lewin, is about, again, it's just a straight, safe template team. Again, I'll ask the question of this 11, who's the only ones that you're concerned with that may not make the game week 1 draft?
The players I suppose I'm skeptical about is particularly Enciso, and I have nothing in the bank,
Oh,
but
I've just seen him. Yeah.
but I made sure to go with Cher Cher at Newcastle because I think he's way more attacking than Botman. So
Yep.
depending if there's a 6 million midfielder that performs really well in pre-season, I probably go down to Botman and then get rid of Enciso. And then again, like I want Evan Ferguson. So I'd love to get rid of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and
Yep.
Enciso. But if Ferguson isn't going to play, I don't think there's any point. So I think in pre-season, if Ferguson gets a lot of minutes, that will sort of make my decision for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking at to see what minutes Ferguson is going to be playing in the Brighton friendlies, because if it looks like he's going to be the main focal point of that team, Calvert-Lewin's gone. I mean, Calvert-Lewin for me, I'm gutted because he could potentially be someone that could be an amazing asset this year, especially at 6 million. But he's injured, so you can't rely on him whatsoever, especially at the start of the season. But are you looking forward to participating in the Elite FPL Members League this year and just being part of this community this season and getting slagged off by me?
Absolutely. That's probably the best bit.
It's going to be exciting, and like I say, it's a community that we are very proud of building. And once we get to the start of this season, certainly by game week 30, it's really heated up, and we see the ones that have really stuck with the leagues and everything and are taking it seriously, and hopefully you'll be part of that by game. Are you normally playing the game seriously up until game week 30, or do you lose interest, or do you just stay throughout the whole season?
So the problem last season was that I didn't join many leagues, but this year, me and about 7 or 8 of my friends created a league, and we all put in €50.
Oh wow!
So I'm definitely interested, and it's winner takes all. So it's definitely sort of. So I was very much like living on FPL now. I'm going to be watching, like I have the pre-season ticker and minutes and everything. I'm going a bit insane, I think, but that'll be all right.
Do you have anything to say to the members that you're going to be facing off this year? Do you want to give them any banter?
Second place is the first loser.
There we are. Ricky, thanks very much.
Cheers, Stephen.
Cheers, dude. There's Ricky, one of our new members, and basically saying you're a bunch of losers because he's coming first. You're all stuffed. Blimey, Matty, what is this? Good Lord. Can anybody see that? You should be able to see it on screen here. Let's just quickly go through some comments before we get on to Matty in a second. Davey Fisher saying, I don't want Estepinian, but his high ownership scares me. Davey, if you don't want him, don't buy him. That's about as simple as it gets. Hello, Firetog. Welcome, pal. Welcome this evening. One of our long-term members here. Good to see you, mate. Up the Ferguson now. Calvert-Lewin spaghetti. Hamstrings have gone already, eh, Steve-O? Yeah. Just blame Maestro. He's the one that brought me the news the other day. It's madness. Do we have a subscriber league? There's a league. There's an Elite FPL Community League, but Jason hasn't. I don't think he's opened it up yet. So he's going to be doing that very, very soon. Anyhow, let's bring on Matty. Hopefully he's sorted out his mic issues, and we'll be able to talk to him. Matty, are you there? Just need to unmute your mic. Podner, we've got a problem. Matty, come on. Second Chance Saloon. Gee Whiz, show him the way. Hello, Gee Whiz, by the way. All right, governor. nice. He's nice. He's muted it. Come on, Matty. You're supposed to be an expert, mate. I mean, one of his. I mean, he's saying his draft is there. I mean, the first one, Steele, Trent, Gabriel, Estepinian, Rashford, Saka, Matoma, Fernandes, Bremo. It's about, apart from Steele, who I don't think is going to be starting next year. I think it's that guy that begins. Oh, hold on a minute. He hasn't muted it. Matt, are you there? Speak again.
No, I'm trying to speak to Steve-O on
Yes.
on the stream.
You're here. Hello.
Oh, all right, Steve-O.
You're live on air. I was looking at your first team here. You're not going to be having Steele in your team, surely.
Well, Brighton have got some good fixtures to start with.
I thought they brought in a brand new.
Well, they have signed someone else, but I don't think they're going to take Steele's.
Verbrugen is the guy they brought in. You need to mute the stream, Matty.
Mute the telly.
Yeah, mute the telly, yeah, and then just listen to me.
All right then, sign. That's better.
There we are. Yeah.
The two drafts, I'm a bit undecided because I want Salah.
Right.
So, like the 5-4-1 formation gives me Trent, Salah, and Haaland.
Well, I know where you're coming from regarding Salah, but you tell us, the audience, why you want Salah.
Well, he's the GOAT of FPL, isn't he? Like, so I want him for captain in game week 2. I've got a pretty template backline with Trent, Gabriel, Estepinian. I like Henry. They got good fixtures, Brentford. And I see a lot of drafts, people going with Pickford in, which they've got some good fixtures. So I thought going with Tarkowski, who's a 4.5. So I can beef up the midfield with Saka and Rashford, who I think the best from their clubs.
I'm picking up on an accent. Are you from Gloucester or Bristol or Cornwall?
Hereford. I'm on the coast of Wales.
Oh, is that where Hereford is? All right, okay, all right.
Hereford, like Worcester, that area.
All right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I actually, looking at this here, I actually prefer, of the two, I prefer the 5-4-1.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? But the only thing I was thinking, if someone like Gabriel goes off,
what do you mean by going off?
Like Jesus or Nkunku, it's going to be hard for me to be able to get to him in one move.
Again, like I've discussed to death, and I think it's a problem that all of us FPL managers have got, is we're all thinking, what if? And we go down that line, isn't it? If we knew the lottery numbers, we'd be millionaires. And the reality is that we're always going to be constantly questioning, what if? And I think that the thing with fantasy football, as G Wiz keeps banging on about, is play your own game. Try not. We're all to blame for this. Me.
I'm sick of content. Like they throw it in your faces, like new updates of drafts and before you've even watched the streams and stuff, they're saying to you like, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's like, I will if I like the stream. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do it before I've watched the stream, like.
Which reminds me, if you are enjoying this, in all seriousness, the reality of the situation when it comes to YouTube content creators, whether it is fantasy football, whether it's train spotters, plane spotters, people that are in the fitness industry, music, whatever, is that a lot of them are kind of, how can I say this? It's because it's virtually their job. They've got to be essentially producing content, and
they've got to be like a robot. They've got to be like a certain way. Like they can't be because you can't tell me that all of these like FPL Raptor and Andy, Let's Talk FPL, and they're not all like that if in real life.
Were you the one that commented on my plane video? I forget. The one on my
I
Total Steve. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of address that on a podcast, but I'll just address it now. So I was thinking a lot about what you said, and so for anybody that's unaware, I did a quick video on Elite FPL for me chatting nonsense about Sky and FPL, and then I also did a quick video on my own personal YouTube channel. And essentially, Matty put a comment saying, what was it? Words to the effect of, you don't see many FPL content creators do this.
Yeah,
words to that effect.
You don't see many doing the normal thing, like.
Yeah, so I know for fact that
over, and it's great. It is like because you're being yourself.
Yeah, and Andy, I know for fact he started creating. He did a second channel, and it was about his fitness journey, and he just stopped, and I was gutted because I genuinely enjoyed it because it was seeing the real person.
Is there the video that he is there the YouTube channel that he started up like?
Yes, and you're not seeing.
I just subscribe to your other Total Stevo YouTube, so I like to watch your videos like.
Yeah, I mean that channel is just for me to upload road rage videos and crap like that. It's just it's
trying to drive Mercedes and that.
Doing 12 miles an hour in a 20 zone. And this is the funny thing with the dash cam footage, it doesn't really justify how quick or how slow something is going. It's just you're just watching
in real life. It's more like it seems more like faster, or I suppose, or
yeah, precisely. I mean, with that Mercedes video as an example, genuinely, it looked. I've even watched the video back, and I think, well, what's the problem? It looks like they're driving normally. They weren't. They really weren't. But anyway, the point being is that going on to what you're saying is that I wish FPL content creators were more themselves rather than a robot. It's why, for me personally, if I ever bother tuning into a fantasy football stream, I'm not watching it because I want to hear them talk about, Matoma or Enciso or Mbeumo or Rashford, whatever. I kind of want to see them get the questions where it's, what's your favourite film? What's your favourite food?
You sort of get zombified in in how people stream like.
Yes.
And it's not very. It's nice that when you go live, sometimes you could be in Heathrow Airport, or you could be at the graveyard, or.
Well, most of those aren't live, but I know what you mean. No, I appreciate the point, and but this is the thing though, is that when
the videos that you do, like.
Yeah, and unfortunately for many industries on YouTube, like I said, whether it is fantasy football or fitness or whatever, there's a meta, isn't there? There's a meta of you have to do it this way.
Oh, I can't swear. Oh, dear.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, YouTube don't allow swearing.
Yeah.
It's their rules. They monitor, or whatever monitors the conversation. I mean, it's monitoring us right now.
Like people being themselves, like.
No, they don't. And this is the problem when you sign a contract with anything. You have to adhere to the rules that are in place. And if you are an individual who walks the tightrope, like, shall we say, Elite FPL do, they don't like it. They don't enjoy it. It's why we feel that, or we're pretty certain that we're shadow banned, because we don't monetize anything, because we just feel that.
But do you know what you get from that? You get the genuine viewers. Do you know what I mean? Not the viewers who just want to see your team just to like copy it and like. The trying we all want to get 10,000 or in the world or whatever, but we come on here to listen to what you've been doing in the day and what you just listening to your daily stuff and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is why why myself and Jason bring on the likes of yourself, Max, etc., or Ricky, where we get to talk about your thought processes within your team. Like, you're telling us that you like the 5-4-1, but the problem is that it's not flexible enough where if X, Y, and Z player go off, you can't bring them in within one move, whereas in your other team, which is the 3-5-2, it is within reason flexible enough. The problem is that, I say problem, the only thing I don't like about it is Fernandez. Dare I say it, I think I'd rather have Mason Mount, Matty.
He's unproven though, isn't he, at Man United? I mean, yeah, he had his time and he was all right at Chelsea and he was scoring, but like until I've seen him actually play with new teammates and that, like I don't want to start with someone who I don't know what they're going to be and like
do you
not play.
Do you not see it from how I see it, which is it's a player who's played in the Premier League?
Bruno's going to do, like,
yeah, sit back.
He's on penalties.
Well, he's won every. What is it? He takes a penalty, then Rashford takes one. Isn't that the agreement?
He gave Rashford a penalty last year because Rashford wanted to get 20 home goals. Like,
right, I thought they swapped between each other. No,
not that I was aware of. No.
I thought I'd read it somewhere, but I could be completely wrong. Let us know in the chat.
But anyway, like the team rating on Fantasy Football Hub, it come up as a 99 and a game week rating of 99 as well. Predicted 71 points.
I mean, I could predict. You're better off going with the Steve-O prediction, which. I mean, how reliable is that stuff?
1-0.
Good, but how reliable is that? Is that stuff though? Genuinely.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's
like reliable.
I know, like the game between Liverpool and Chelsea is going to probably end up 0-0 because it has done for the past bloody God knows how many games.
So it's 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's definitely 3 in a row that they've drawn, but I do like the 5-4-1 formation though.
Yeah, I mean,
Salah and Trenton, it's just like appealing as well. The other one just seems so template.
You see, this team here, the 5
else is going for Saka, Rashford, Mbemo, Matoma, Jesus, Haaland.
Tarkowski and Henry, they're 4.5, yeah?
Yeah, both 4.5s. I would have to play them each week, but they've got good fixtures, so I don't mind playing them for the first 6 to 8 weeks.
And this is the thing. I had a 3. I think it was a 3-5-2 with Salah.
Plus Brentford, they're a really good defence. They were underrated last season, and like they kept like quite a few clean sheets.
When they
Pinnock on the very last day, unfortunately, he was on my bench. Got me. He had 15 points on my bench the last day of the season.
So Brentford's opening fixtures, Spurs at home. Horrible.
Yeah, but that's at home as well, so they're pretty good at home, Brentford.
Yeah, but the likelihood of them keeping a clean sheet is quite low against Spurs, and I'm sure someone's going to... Well, you may even say to me now that they kept a clean sheet. In fact, did they keep a clean sheet against Spurs last year? Can you remember?
No, but I think they were the only team to beat... was it Arsenal or some top team, home and away, or even Man City? It might have been. So, like, it looks nice on paper.
Yeah. See, the Brentford have got Tottenham, Fulham, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace like to score goals. Fulham, Tottenham, Bournemouth at home is probably their best one. Newcastle away. Everton at home, Forest away.
And Everton have got some good fixtures, so them two, like, to play each week, they're nailed on to start. I'd rather go Henry over Pinnock because they've just signed um, um, they just signed another centre back, and I'm a bit worried that Pinnock might be competing for his place. So I've gone for Henry.
Yeah, I think next season, unfortunately, when it comes to Sean Dyche, in those opening 8 fixtures, they have got very winnable games against Fulham, Wolves, Sheffield United, Luton and Bournemouth. And ironically, I think that Everton at home were terrible under Dyche. It was away from home they were getting the points. And those away fixtures are Aston Villa, Sheffield United, Brentford. They don't scream points there. But with the likes of Fulham, Wolves, Arsenal, Luton and Bournemouth, these are games that Everton should be targeting for wins. Certainly clean sheets.
I see a lot of drafts that they've got people who've got Pickford in.
Yeah.
So if, like, a lot of the top FPL people that get good ranks of starting Pickford, like if Tarkowski is just going to be just as good as Pickford, even he'll even be better because he'll be up there on set pieces, like getting on the end of things.
You not thought about Michael Keane? Because if you remember last year,
yeah, Michael Keane, like he gets I noticed him a lot because I had Tarkowski at the end of last season or like the middle of sometime last season, and always like it was. I would see who was on the end of it, and it would always be Keane, like.
Yeah.
But I've not really thought about putting him in. I don't even know how much he would be. Probably 4.4 as well.
Yeah, Keane is coming in at 4.5. I mean, Tarkowski is pretty much guaranteed. I mean, Ricky's making a pointer as well with Pickford. He's good for save points, which is very, very true. But
yeah,
I look at these two teams in which. So you've just said that the 5-4-1 is your favoured one, and again, it kind of looks very similar to what I had the other day. But I had a 3-5-2 with Salah in it.
Yeah, I had a 3-5-2. But all I'm missing is on the 5-4-1 is Jesus and
don't worry about him.
Jesus and Bruno. But
You've got Rashford.
I've got Salah. I've got Rashford still though.
Yeah.
I had Rashford on the other one. I got Brian Mbemo. Hopefully he'll be on penalties.
I think this is just me. I think this 5-4-1 is the better pick ahead of the 3-5-2. Personally,
because I'm thinking in game week 1 of going against Haaland against Burnley away.
Why is that?
I think Rashford, even though Haaland's predicted to score more points, I think Rashford will score more than Haaland because Haaland are playing away at Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect Man City to score. I'm probably predicting that game 3-1 to Man City. I think it'll be 3-1.
Yeah, I expect them to win, but Haaland doesn't seem to be he doesn't seem to score that many away from home.
And this is
when he's at home, he seems like to get all his hat tricks. And
yeah, and
I mean, I might be wrong. He might have scored one last year away from home. More than likely did because he got 2 or 3 back to back, didn't he?
Yeah, I think 2 of them were at home and 1 was away or something like that.
But Rashford could do that, especially if Kane doesn't go to to Man U and they don't buy a striker.
Kane isn't going to Man United. That ain't happening.
No, even though Rashford's better coming off the left and coming in, I think because Martial's made of glass, he can't play 45 minutes, let alone 60 minutes.
Mm.
And Vegas has gone back to
Burnley.
So Rashford probably, unless they go and Man U don't get Kane, they might go out and buy someone just because they haven't got no one else to buy, sort of thing, last minute buy in, sort of. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do. Yeah, no,
They
I
go out and buy
completely
last
agree.
minute because they couldn't get what they wanted in Kane. Like,
And this is it. I think that the
could
more
Rashford would be playing up front then if they don't get anybody.
I still don't think that's a bad thing, though. I think Rashford up front is going to be fine. I think that it then opens up
I
the
think
option of
he'll still score, like, I reckon, between 15, 20 goals next season.
oh yeah, and then but what that does do is it potentially brings in another Man United asset in Garnacho playing off the left.
Yeah, like, he could have a breakout season this season. He's such a good, like, talented young lad, and then he's got the skill as well.
He
Very
looked,
good with the eye test, like.
he looked incredible
He does, yeah.
last year, and
I'm saying this. I'm a Liverpool supporter, so
what's that here? Brendan saying, I would be worried with Haaland as my only forward because if he does not start, nobody comes on. Well, the likelihood of
if he gets injured at the start of the season and like
it's not going to happen.
they say he's going to be out for 3 months, everyone's going to go to Kane then, aren't they?
Well, precisely.
And then they'll have the money to be able to upgrade Bruno to Salah, and it's not going to be such an easy draft again.
Yeah. Before we go, I asked Max this question. I'll ask you the same one. These two teams, they're virtually identical. Who is the one player that you're concerned about the most, if anything?
You're asking me, Steve-O?
Yes, I'm asking you. Yep.
No, sorry, I was miles away then. I would say Fernandes and Jesus.
They're the two that you're concerned about.
Yeah, that's it.
I think, looking at
They're
this,
the only two I haven't got in this draft. Look,
we can't have everybody.
exactly.
We can't have everybody. Matty, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully you come on again.
I've been glad speaking to you, Steve-O, and I enjoy watching your videos. But
Thank you.
Go, everybody. I'm not sure everyone is in the chat, but hit the like button before you go out, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell.
And if they want to support the show, Matty, financially, what can they do?
They can join as a member.
They can indeed. Are you looking forward to the Members League next year?
I am, yeah. The league is up and running already because I've already seen it in the on the Premier League mobile app.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise it was, but okay, fair enough. You know more than me. Cool. Okay.
It's been good speaking to you, Steve-O.
Cheers, Matty. See you in the chat.
And yeah.
There's Matty, regular contributor on the show there. Very good to have. And I think Matty brings up, similar issues that we all have really, which is pretty much, I'm worried that I don't own this player. Just do a Steve-O, 50p bet. 50p bet, because I actually like that 5-4-1. And I think that Matty kind of demonstrated there something which I think we all go through, which is he's got all this logic, everything out there. He's making very, very valid points, and then it's but, and we all do it. I'm one of the worst for it. And I think, Matty, if you're still listening, that 5-4-1, I think you came in here with that plan in mind. I think go for it. I think stick with it. Avoid any changes to your team for a week or two. Get more information, and then you'll be able to make a final decision closer. Podner, thank you. 29 months you've been a member, Podner. Thank you. Let's see a team without Haaland. It should be 15% of the game without it. Harry Dawson, if you want to talk to me about your team, come live on air. I've got triple City attack. I mean, what's that? Alvarez, Foden and Haaland by any chance? I'm guessing that is the case with that. Davey Fisher saying, I'd love to bring us in João Felix. Was that for Man United, Davey? Is that who we're talking about here? Harry's thinking that Man United are going to struggle for top 4. John Harris is saying here that Braithwaite at 4 million could be a starter for Everton in defence. Again, these are questions and thought processes that we need to be looking at more closer towards the start of the season. I think by which point we'll get more and more data pushing forward that. No, thank you, Matty. John, one of your rivals, saying here, nice to see a different draft. I don't think it's different. To be honest with you, John, it's let's get real here. How many people, I mean, not necessarily steal, but let's just take the main 10. Who owns Trent Alexander-Arnold? A lot. Gabriel? A lot. Estepinian? Everybody. Henry and Tarkowski? There's logic as to why Matty's got those two. Salah? Not many, but a lot of people are going to want him for game week 2. Saka, Rashford, Buemo, pretty much in every single draft I've ever seen, and then Haaland up top, no comment. No comment at all. We then have, I don't know why it's not giving me the full name here. All I can see is the word, quite literally, C. Let's find out what this individual's actual name is. C. We're going to bring you live on air in 2 seconds. Hello, C. Just need to unmute your mic, my friend. I've been waiting for a while. I can hear voices.
You okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You right?
Superb. What's the full name?
Crazy Jack.
Bloody hell, Crazy Jack. I haven't heard your name for... It's been 3 years?
No, 2. I think when Lacazette left.
Oh, 2 years, right. What brings you back?
I was just sitting at the computer, saw this part, and I was like, oh, go on in. Send it. I saw first time drafts. I thought, is this a first time draft, or is it like just the title?
I wouldn't bother reading into anything regarding anything I write on the YouTube title, to be completely honest.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. I thought, yeah, you'll it, or whatever. How you doing? Good?
I'm fine. I'm looking at your team here, and apart from one player, it's about as standard as it gets, and I'm just staring at Son.
Yeah.
Why?
I like it. Son. Well, to be honest, since the game's been open, I've made 2 teams. Well, I say I've made a team, and I've made one change since, and I haven't touched it since. I feel like it was very easy to do this. Like the first team was all of them, bar it was Calvert-Lewin instead of Morris, and it was Connor Roberts instead of Esther, whatever his name is, Estepinian.
Well, I can understand why you've done that switch, because obviously Connor Roberts for us, no matter how attacking he is, our opening fixtures are terrible. I would be avoiding like the play, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, I don't want to be saying that, but having Estepinian is fine. But you haven't actually answered the question in why Son.
Son. Just a boy and quite cheap. I don't know. I like that. I mean, if I need to, I can go to Rashford.
Oh, you've got no Rashford. Oh, you've got Fernandes instead.
Yeah. I just feel like that he can do most of what Rashford done, and like Son is a different. The fact Son's a different, like, a differential.
Yeah.
Not someone who's picked often. I think that's quite mad. And yeah, obviously there's Maddison, but I feel like Son's more.
Well, he's proven at Tottenham, isn't he?
Yeah, and more likely played 90 than Maddison. So yeah, but other than that, the team I haven't changed at all, and I find that quite mad.
So what? You just said that you've been away for 2 years. Do you mean you've been away for the game for 2 years, or?
No. So I've been about, still making a team. I think after the World Cup, I just kind of like meh. I still like made changes and stuff to the team. I wasn't like thinking fully. I was just like, he's out. Okay, just get him in because he's scoring loads of points. Granted, I did not great last year. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying it quite a lot.
So you just said there that you found it quite easy picking a team, and I think a lot of people are pretty much in the same boat as you here. Are you actually then excited for this upcoming season?
Oh yeah, like my footy team's doing a tournament. We're putting some money in, so that'd be quite cool. As well as my mates. And like player wise, like the team, I'm happy with like the 11 and like the whole with the Stones, like the City, like rotation. I just have Morris. I just see him as like Solanke last year,
Yeah.
who's just he's 90 minutes, he's on pens. The fixtures, I'm absolutely gutted the second game's been called off against Burnley because I was hoping to play him because I think United have got.
I thought it'd been moved.
Yeah, but on that game week they haven't got a game. Apparently, they'll blank.
I thought they. I mean, I probably am going to be wrong now. I thought they just moved the game, no, but you are completely right. So Luton have all. Well, this is complete brand new information to me. When's that game been moved to then? I could have sworn I heard it being moved to another day.
Oh, I haven't heard. I just saw. I just saw it. I opened the phone. I saw none for game week 2, but I was like, oh bugger.
So when did this happen then?
And I had Bell as well, but then because he obviously Luton, I went to Baldock because I was like, oh, should City or someone miss the game, I have at least a sub for that 1 week. That's the only annoying thing. Other than that, I'm really happy with the rest. And then Morrison will just come on when I need him to, probably for 4 and 5. But yeah, I think it happened like a couple of days ago. It went.
Wow, and they haven't actually moved the fixture. Oh, they haven't moved the fixture at all.
Yeah, it's like I think City's also and Brentford, they've stopped that game. I think like at Christmas time because of like.
Oh, at Christmas, well, we got months before that, but certainly. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
It got called off the same time as the Luton game, which I am tamping about. But yeah.
Wow.
Well, but yeah, other than that, the rest of the team like happy, and I mean,
you've basically gone Son. I've gone Maddison as it stands right now. You've got Fernandes. I've got Rashford. That's the only pretty much differences between mine and your team, other than I've got Foden. And yeah, I think overall this team is. It's like you say, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all, Ramsdale in goal. He's a nice little differential there. I don't see many drafts with him. Trent, Stones, Estepinian, Shaw. I just see everybody with them. The midfield 5, everybody apart from Son, and then Haaland up top, which is the safety net for everybody. So yeah, I think it's the classic line of good to go crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like at least I I don't normally do it, but I like how I have a forward who's not like a bench option that isn't like total pants. Like he is just Solanke of last year, who will just play 90, get pen. Luton's alright after the blank.
You've not thought about playing Morris straight away?
No, not at all.
Even though it's Brighton away, not particularly great defensively, especially at home.
Honestly, I haven't thought about it. Like the first week, everyone will play Estepinian and no one will have Morris. I like how Son's like a differential enough for the first week. And Stone's surprised. I don't know why people aren't getting City defence.
Yeah, I've been persuaded already to get rid of Luke Shaw and bring in John Stones.
Yeah, like the only the only other thing I thought about is Onana, Zinchenko, and then I could go Rashford then instead. But then I'll be worried with Zinchenko and Stones that they might miss a game. Like if Stones miss a game, I'll be like, all right, Morris will come on. But if Zinchenko and Stones both miss a game, then I'd be like, oh, I gotta play Baldock now. He'd be alright. He'd be a bit of a boy, but yeah.
This Onana, do you know much about him?
Saves a lot of shots. That's about it. Nah, it's literally if I need an extra 0.5, I can do that. Other than that, because I would rather Shaw than Zinchenko, and I think Ramsdale's alright. I'd rather him than Gabriel. Like there was, I think someone said Gabriel, Edison, or Stones or Ramsdale. I think this combo's better. Like Ramsdale's better than Edison for both save points, and he'll just do more.
Yeah,
I reckon Stones is a better option than Gabriel.
It's what fascinates me about having these conversations is that it does make you think, and I've just done it right now for argument's sake, where I've put Ramsdale in my team, put John Stones in there. I'd still have a 3-5-2, and maybe Ramsdale turns into a Nana, who we would assume 5 million. Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's gonna be 5 mil.
So 5 mil for a Nana. Again, I could be charmed. I could be charmed into this, just going back to John Stones, triple up of Man City, and still playing this 3-5-2, and I've still got $1 million in the bank to upgrade the likes of Wemo to a Sterling, as an example. Are you thinking of looking at wildcarding early to take advantage of Chelsea's early fixture turnaround along with Tottenham's?
I'm for the wild card. I just saw the fixtures. Oh, actually, no. Even that, I already had an idea before, like prices and fixtures came out, who I was gonna have roughly. Like I knew I was gonna have in Buemo. I was glad he wasn't a forward, but at the same time, I think it was quite good he wasn't a forward, because otherwise everyone would literally play him regardless. He would be the second striker, and then the game is broken. But like, I was gonna have him. I was gonna have an Arsenal. I was gonna have Stones and Trent. They were always gonna be in it. And then the prices came out, and it was just like, oh, okay. So, like, I didn't expect to have Son in my team, but he's a bit of a boy, so I was like, oh, okay, I have him in. And the only time I was thinking about it was the last spot, which was either Estepinian or Calvert-Lewin. Oh, excuse me. And I think this is the better combo, because this 11 I'll play every week.
I think you, along with Matty, I think you're both set with your teams. I think it's just going to be a case of don't even bother looking at your teams for a few weeks. Come back to it a few days before.
That has literally been my process. Like, the only time I've looked at it since is when I saw Luton got a second game cancelled, so I was like, I switched Bell to Baldock. That was literally it, because I knew I would have a sub then, if need be. But I think they've signed us a left back. I know Baldock's right back, but I don't know if that will affect him. So I'm like, oh, great, now he might not even play. But yeah. Oh, you know what I was tapping? I was tapping that bloody Sarr wasn't 4.5. I was going to look forward to Wolves goalkeeper, 4.5.
Wolves goalkeeper? What makes you think that would be a good option? I don't understand why Sarr isn't 4.5 either. I know he was one of the highest scoring goalkeepers last year, but why was Sarr tempting for you at 4.5?
He just makes a lot of saves, and I know he just makes a lot of saves, and they've really got a home. So yeah, that was literally it. And then you could have the combo then, because no one's going to have outfield players of theirs at the start of these. So that's something you didn't have to think about. But no, I was actually really tapping about that when that came out. But other than that, the prices have made this very easy. And how long has it been? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? The game's been out for now.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, like since the second day where I did the switch from Calvert-Lewin and Connor Roberts to Estevine and Morris, I haven't touched the team. And until I think 2 days ago when I had to switch Bell to Baldock, when I found out Luton was missing game week 2. But that's literally only because they blanked in game week 2, so I have a sub. Because I actually like Morris. It might be a decent option, and I like he's like my first sub. It's just a guy who'll just come on if need be. I was actually probably going to play him 4 and 5 when I think Brian have got Newcastle and City United. Play him then, because he's got West Ham and Fulham. I'll just let him just send it.
And usually with these promoted teams, the first 10 game weeks, 2 of the 3 normally do very well. And I'm going to put my money on the fact that it'll be Luton and Burnley that do better than Sheffield United. I think Sheffield
Yeah.
United will struggle next year.
Yeah, I was thinking I could do Morris to their front guy because he'll be 5.5. I just thought I think Morris, like, was he alright in the championship? I know he scored a lot of goals.
I don't know anything about Luton. I know nothing. In fact, I know Burnley were in the championship last year, but I only focused on them. I couldn't care less about any of the other league, to be honest. I just focused on Premier League / Burnley only, but by all accounts, he's supposed to be very good.
Yeah, he came third in goals scored, but I don't know if it was just mostly pens and stuff.
Well, I know that Ash off FPL Juice is very confident in this Morris, so, and he's a Luton fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you can go wrong with 5.5, but like that.
No, yeah, literally he's just on the bench, and if I need him, he comes on, because the rest of the team's fine. Like, I'm not like,
Agreed.
I don't need to scrap $1 million to get someone else. Like, the only one would be Foden, and obviously I could bring down Son for Foden, but then I'll just be like, I won't be spending the money. I'll be spending money for the sake of it, or holding it for the sake of it.
I'd be more tempted to do Fernandes to Foden, personally.
Yeah. I just like spreading teams out, but obviously I know with City that's a bit of a difference, because they are just...
You've got zero money in the bank, I'm assuming?
Nah, nothing.
Nothing, no. You can't get Rashford in for Fernandes.
No, but yeah, obviously the option could be Onana for Ramsdale, and then because then I'll still have, if I did Onana to Ramsdale, I could do Zinchenko to Shaw, then I'll have 0.5, because then I can get Fernandes for Rashford.
Brilliant.
But the only thing is, then that's two potential. On paper, it sounds good, but then obviously there's the risk of, if Zinchenko is a risk of missing a game and Stones is missing a game, then Morris could cover one, but he can't cover two.
But again, these are just, we talk about the lottery analogy. If we knew what the lottery numbers were, I think that, like Matty, your decision making is sound. Play with it. Stick with it.
Yeah, literally. That's my thinking. But yeah, I haven't done that. Like, have you been doing much moving around people and stuff, or have you just like
No, I'm not really. Don't get me wrong. Like, I personally just do videos for the sake of doing videos and just chat crap about whatever and just talk about things that we're kind of talking about now, just like how people are overthinking and everything and just making drafts for the sake of drafts and stuff, when in reality we're swapping around one or two players, whereas me having a conversation with yourself, Matty, etc., you get general ideas. And as we've been speaking, like I said, I've been looking at my team here and I'm thinking, well, actually, you make some very interesting points. Like, I've only got one Arsenal asset, when in reality, come on, Steve-O, think logically here. You need to be having a minimum of 2, and Ramsdale at 5 million.
Oh, bargain. As soon as he came in, I was like, I know it was like last year with Mendy when he came in at 5, and I was like, Chelsea, go on, get him in. But like, Ramsdale's actually, like, he made a lot of saves, because like as well as that, it was like save points. He actually makes a lot of saves. Obviously not like as many as like other teams, but he did make a lot of saves. Like, he made 94 saves, and like compared to like the Edison argument, Edison made 46.
Yeah.
Double the amount.
Yeah.
And Saliba's back, so they're just going to be better, which could make it worse for saves. But then, like Ramsey, you just stick him in and just be like, yeah, send it. And I'd rather have Stones, because I know he's not. You can see he plays outfield, but I know he's not like Trent, but he's more attacking than Gabriel, and like he will have better chances of like playing out and scoring.
And he's certainly a favourite of Pep's as well.
Yeah, and that's my thing. So he's got to play most games, because it's the start of the seasons. There's no Champions League and all that stuff. That's why game week 2, because I know they got like some cup thing.
The Super Cup, yeah.
Yeah, but because it's Newcastle, like a competitive team, I assume he would play. So that's what I was thinking. Do I need to make sure I have the Sheffield striker? But I think Bulldog could do enough. I'm just going to play the cards and just hope. Hopefully, he won't be needed, but like, should he be needed, at least he'll play, so I can get 2 points. I'll be very disappointed if I have to have if two of my starting 11 are missing out on the game week 2.
Yeah, because I've been made aware of that, that's quite... I shouldn't be concerned about it, because my 3 defenders for game week 2 are a lock. Man City, Stones will play against Newcastle, Trent will play against Bournemouth, and Estepinian will play against Brighton. Against Wolves, sorry. So,
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about that. And Crazy Jack, that was a very interesting call. You made me think.
Yeah. Oh, cheers, thank you. It's nice speaking to you again.
Hopefully you'll be back as a regular again.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoy your evening.
Cheers, dude. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Look at that, another one, another member of the Elite FPL community from literally 2 years ago, come out of the woodwork. We've got another new individual on the Discord who has gone. Oh, we'll bring him on. Jacob. I wonder if he'll recognise this. Hello, Jacob. Just need to unmute your mic, my friend. Jacob, the member of Lost.
Good evening, hello.
Blimey. Hello there.
Hello, how are you doing?
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
Superb stuff. This team here is, congratulations, a very different team. Triple Brighton, Watkins up top. Talk to the audience, and there's Pickford in goal. And Salah.
Yeah, so this, I get, is perhaps very different. This isn't like, it's probably about a 50% lock-in. It's just trying to play around with kind of playing the fixtures that I tend to roll a transfer in game week 2. So that I've got more to play with in game week 3. And so it's a really attacking that Luton in March. It could be Gross or Enciso will take your pick for Brighton mids. But at one point I was toying whether to have to get rid of Watkins and have like Wissa and Solanke and play 3-4-3.
No. Just stop there. Don't even think about it. Just talk to us about Watkins, please. Why you've got him in, because swapping out Watkins for Visa and who was the other one you were thinking of?
Solanke.
Yeah, forget it.
And then bench him.
Forget it. I'd rather be having just Watkins. Talk to us about Watkins in all seriousness.
I think I'm really intrigued by what Emery does with Villa this season. I would stick my neck out and say that with no injuries, they could probably get 4th.
Well, friend of the show, very close friend of mine, Dale, thinks that they're going to get top 4. What do you think on that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
And why is that?
Like it's that new signing Pau Torres. We know what we're going to get from him. They've got a lot.
Okay, hold it. What are we going to get from him? Because I don't know who he is. Never heard of him.
Well, I only know him from Football Manager.
Right.
He's one of those players that seems to fit in. I think pretty well. He's been at Villarreal, I think, like 7 or 8 years, and come up through that system. And I'm pretty sure he's got some European experience as well, which I would expect would have played into it, given that side doesn't have tons of it at the minute. I would highly rate him.